Hi, my name is Mike Greensill. Welcome to Playing for Singers. This is a series of videos based on my book, Playing for Singers, that's published by Share Music. Details on how to order it are at the end of the video. I'm going to talk today about out-of-tempo accompanying. Here are some of the terms you'll see on your music. Con la voce is an Italian term meaning with the voice, implying that the accompanist must accommodate the singer's phrasing. Rubato is defined as stolen or robbed and means take a portion of a note's duration and give it to another note. Of course, freely and out of tempo speak for themselves. Let's face it, it's out of tempo. And this brings up an important point. If a passage is out of tempo, then make sure it's performed out of tempo. Inexperienced singers will often not alter their phrasing at all when faced with out-of-tempo passages. And so the vocal line will sound like it's being sung in tempo, just slower. Remember, in our style of music, the written note is just a guide, and we can manipulate it in any way we choose. There are many reasons for the arranger and singer to utilize out-of-tempo passages, but the two main ones are A, to enable the singer to tell the story of the lyric in a conversational manner. Or B, to provide dramatic contrast in relation to the in-tempo passages. Whatever terminology is used, it is most often encountered in the singing of verses. And by verses, I mean verse in the old-fashioned sense of the word, when songs had a verse followed by a chorus. Let's take a simple example using the first four bars of the verse to a song called The Lady's in Love with You. It's by Burton Lane and Frank Lesser. If you look at example 1, this is what the original sheet music looks like. It all looks pretty simple and uncluttered, so when accompanying this verse, one would presume that all those chords should be played. But that's not necessarily the case. If you take it literally, it sounds something like this. Have you ever seen the dawn of love? Boy, was that dull. If the singer is smart, they will shape the phrase in a conversational manner. And the way you do this is to just emphasize one word in the phrase. You can choose any word. It could be, have you ever seen the dawn of love? Or have you ever seen the dawn of love? Or have you ever seen the dawn of love? In this case, we're going to choose the word seen. If that's how the singer decides to phrase it, then we will need to make some decisions on where to place the accompanying chords and which chords we'll choose to use. If we insist on playing the D minor 7th on beat 3 of the first bar in the first example, the vocalist is forced to wait for us. This can result in a ponderous performance, as you just heard when I sang it, with the vocalist having to put equal emphasis on each beat, a habit we try and beat out of all vocal students. But we're creative jazz musicians, and the written music is only a guide. We sometimes need to take liberties with the composer's intentions. Back to our verse. Here's how I would recommend editing this particular passage. So if you look at example 2, you can see that I've cut out the D minor 7th from the first bar and also the C 7th from the second bar. So I'm only playing one chord for the whole of the first bar and one chord for the whole of the second bar. This enables the singer to trip along and phrase it how they would like. It goes something like this. Have you ever seen the dawn of love? One of the reasons we can leave out all those chords is because the D minor 7th that had occurred on beat 3 of the first bar isn't going to be missed. F6 and D minor 7th have all the same notes, and the melody fits either of them, giving us the freedom to edit and the singer the freedom to phrase without the encumbrance of waiting for the piano player to catch up. Let's also look at the music in bars 3 and 4 of example 2. Is it necessary to play all of those chords and make the vocalist wait to start the next phrase? Yes and no. I'm certainly not trying to stifle those little opportunities when us accompanists get to shine. But one needs to take into account whether the singer wants to get to the next part of the story quickly or is happy to wait for you. Here's a quote from the wonderful San Francisco singer Madeleine Eastman. "Even advanced piano players will often fill too much and stop the forward motion of the music." And so this brings up the discussion of those filler notes in bars 3 and 4 of example 2. And it brings us to a very important aspect of calle voce accompaniment and accompaniment in general, the use of silence. Silence is a useful dramatic and emotional tool in all of music. I mean, I have to admit that it's less effective when you're playing in a noisy saloon, but within the confines of this video, we're all at Carnegie Hall. We can solve the dilemma of whether to play all those extra notes in bars 3 and 4 by not playing them at all. Instead of filling every space with music, we can use our powerful and dramatic tool, silence, as a musical punctuation mark in between the vocal phrases. So let's look at example 3. Have you ever seen the dawn of love? Little things that mean the dawn of love. The dramatic effect of that moment of silence helps the listener concentrate on the intent of the lyric, and at the same time gives the vocalist the freedom to continue on with the next phrase without having to wait for us to finish playing some pretty fill-in. Here's what the great accompanist for Carmen McRae, Norman Simmons, had to say about this very thing. "Carmen taught me about suspense. The space belongs to the singer. Carmen communicates with her music through space too. If a pianist elaborates in a singer's space, the singer has to wait, and maybe the train of phrasing is broken. That's where taste and sensitivity comes in. It's knowing where it's appropriate to elaborate. The audience should be able to hear what the singer's going to say next and not be diverted by some great piano embellishment." Well, that's all for this session. If you'd like to learn more about the great art of accompanying, you can order my book, Playing for Singers, from sharemusic.com. So thank you today for watching this video. My name's Mike Greensill, and look out for more videos in this series.